Hi, I'm Tony Bowen, and welcome to my Corn Country Rails. Well, I want to do kind of a video update on the HO collection that I've been dealing with. And I truly can say it is becoming an HO collection. If you are contacting me wanting N-scale items, I'm afraid to tell you, all of the N-scale items have been sold. The only N-scale items I have from the collection are items that are currently here waiting to be picked up. If for some reason they don't get picked up in the next 30 days, those items will go back on an inventory list and will be ready for sale. But at this point, there's really no N-scale items available from the collection. The same is true with the O2 rail. I had several pieces of O2 rail, and at this point I only have about 5 pieces left of the O2 rail items that I had. And so thank you to those O-scale modelers and N-scale modelers for kind of seeking me out and being able to hopefully pick up some bargains that were on the inventory list. So truly, this is going to become an HO scale estate only, which that was the majority of it to start with. So a few things that happened over the weekend with the collection is the actual layout itself came down. The layout itself was just bench work. It had all the track work laid, had all the switch machines and stuff removed, and wires cut from it a couple weeks ago. But this past weekend, I should say, my friend Steve Malcolm and myself spent the majority of our Saturday pulling up the Code 83 flex track, pulling up the switches, and hopefully those will all be repurposed and sold at train shows. The layout itself, the L-girder legs and benchwork, those things will be saved and be repurposed on another layout. The only thing that really got discarded was the roadbed cork and the sheets of plywood that were cut very obscure to kind of that unique piece of railroad in that basement. There were some sheets of the plywood that will be saved and ripped and used for other purposes, whether that be a layout or shelving or some other purpose. So kind of show you some photos of some things that are also going to be kind of coming up on inventories and will also be taken to train shows. So I have reduced the number of boxes once again, so that has been good. There's probably 2 more boxes gone out of here from last week's update, but there's still several of things ready to go to the train shows. Still have 4 boxes of loose cars here and another 5 boxes at another location in the basement. But some things that came off the layout that were able to be saved is obviously some switches. So these are more the kind of unique switches, curved 3-way switches, double slip switches, and that Ys. And so all of these will be ready to go to train shows once they get priced. And then I have a box of left and a box of right switches that these will also go to train shows as well. And so there are a few Code 100 Atlas switches. This was used in a staging yard, but the majority of these, or I shouldn't say the majority, all of those are Code 83, and they are the Shinihari / Walthers switches. For books, if anybody has a Rock Island book collection or is looking to maybe fill in gaps, maybe missing titles of books or that, I was able to get all these inventoried this past week, and so they will be up for sale as well. And so a lot of different titles of the Rock Island. One of the Pullman Standard books, Volume 8. And then some of the older out of print. Here's a reproducible locomotive diagram book. Phil Hastings book, Rock Island Town out in Fairbury, Steam Finale. This is kind of an interesting novel. I'd read that several years ago from the perspective of Rock Island engineer by Tom Foster. And So a lot of good books in here. Some of them have been out of print for years. This one here, published in 1980. It's sometimes a hard to find item, the Rock Island Motive Power book. So those will all be ready to go as well to train shows. This bridge, and I know we're looking at it upside down, we were able to salvage from the layout. I'm going to be able to kind of rip that so I can take it to train shows to sell that. I do have the bridge track for it as well. Kind of a neat little unique piece. And we still have several structures that are still available. And then a couple of the other bridges that came off the layout yesterday as well, and they are also for sale. And then I will be getting out the rail nippers and kind of cleaning up some of the track, and then be putting it into bundles with blue painter's tape around it to take to train shows as well. One other item that came out of the estate that obviously is a little too big to ship is this nice spray booth and stand. So has the light, has the fan where it can vent off the back, easy to change furnace filter back here, and then the homemade stand to go with it. So kind of a nice work area when you're painting something. Area for your paints. Place to put either your airbrush tools and that. Paper towels. Had a paper towel rack here on the side. Had the mounting for a fire extinguisher. Just extra shelving area where he had painting tools he had that he might use. And then the bottom is where the compressor was, and then he had a hole already cut in for it to be plugged in up here as well. So everything was right here, the touch of a switch when you needed it. So area to hang your apron on, and then of course it's always nice to have these for your airbrushes or hooks for things that you need to have kind of suspended while you brush them. So this will also be available as well. So thank you once again for tuning in for the update on this collection. If you have purchased something, thank you so much. It has been great being able to find homes for so many of these nice pieces of equipment and that. So I really appreciate that. That has made the task of dealing with this collection very easy. Also, it has been so nice for those of you that have been able to come and pick up items at my house so I don't have to ship it. That has been great. It's also been nice visiting with you as well. And those of you that I have shipped items to, thank you for the little notes that you're putting in. You've been a subscriber to my channel and now you're able to buy something. Thank you. Those of you that have found my channel through this estate, thank you for subscribing as well, and I hope you will continue to be a follower and a watcher of my channel as well. So I'm going to end today's video with just kind of some scenes from still pictures from taking down the layout yesterday, so you can kind of get a visual of kind of the space the layout had in this gentleman's basement and that. So it was very nicely done, and it was kind of sad to see it come down, but it was one of those things that it had to be done. So anyway, thank you so much. There probably won't be an update next week, so definitely all of you have a great Thanksgiving holiday as it's coming up very soon, and we'll talk with you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.